The rat torture device, the cheap, easy, and effective way to torture someone in the Middle Ages was to use rats. Usually, the victim would be tied down and the torturer would place a metal box full of rats on the victim's stomach. The rats, desperate to escape, would burrow through the victim's stomach. Catherine wheel, also known as the breaking wheel, the Catherine wheel was a popular torture method during medieval times. Victims would have their limbs broken and placed through the spokes of the large wheel. Then the wheel would be placed on top of a pole and their bodies would be left to burn under the hot sun and be picked at by the crows. Sometimes the wheel would have spikes mounted on it. Coffin torture, using large strips of iron, blacksmiths in the Middle Ages would create a hollow coffin in the shape of a person. Victims would be forced inside and hung up to die under the scorching hot sun while being eaten by animals. Wooden horse, the wooden horse, also known as the Spanish horse, was used during the Spanish Inquisition. The victim would first be stripped naked and their arms and legs would be tied to the horse as they sat on it. With their feet not touching the ground to take off any pressure, it would be extremely painful and ended usually in the rupturing of the perineum and extensive blood loss. Thumbscrew, the thumbscrew was similar to the Chinese Tianzu. Using a metal clamp, the victim's thumbs would be inserted and the clamp would slowly close on the thumbs. If the victim didn't confess or provide information, their thumbs would endure horrible pain before breaking altogether. Scavenger's daughter, invented by a British man named Skevington, the scavenger's daughter was a popular torture device during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. It was a hoop of iron with a hinge in the middle. The victim would be forced to crouch on one half of the hoop while the other was placed over his back. The hinge would be slowly tightened, crushing the victim's back and breaking breastbones and ribs. Judas chair. The Judas chair was a wooden device with a pyramid on top of 4 legs, looking essentially like a chair from hell. The victim would be tied up by ropes while their legs would be tied together to another rope. Their anus or vagina would be inserted into the pointed edge of the pyramid while the torturer would pull on the rope attached to their legs.